Hello Formula 1 and IndyCar fans, welcome to Formula Pun Racer. Before I begin my review on the F1 race in Baku, Azerbaijan and the IndyCar race which occurred at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, both back on the 12th of June, I like to say with great sadness to announce that Dr. Frederick Simeone, the founder of the Simeone Auto Foundation Museum in Philadelphia, passed away back on the 11th of June during the middle of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. He was 86. He was a neurosurgeon at Philadelphia Hospital, but he also loved cars, mostly of Le Mans type, and his museum, which you can find in Philadelphia on Norwich Drive, has a vast majority of racing cars he's collected throughout his life. While being a doctor was one profession, he loved racing more than anything else and would always have a lot of demonstrations with his collection of cars to share with the public. And I have seen those cars on display so many times, I can never get enough of it. And I say to Dr. Simeone's family, his colleagues, friends, and many fans, I am so sorry for your loss, and I continue to enjoy my visits to the Simeone Auto Foundation Museum. So if you're in Philadelphia, as I said before, please come to the Simeone Museum. I'm sure his spirit would appreciate your presence. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of other demonstrations and other exhibits that come every now and then. And I've been going for years. It's been since 2007 or 8 that it all began. And so, with that said, please let us pause for a moment of silence for Dr. Frederick Simeone of Philadelphia. May he rest in peace, and the world of racing will never be the same without you, Doctor. We miss you very much.
And it's lights out and away we go, and Charles Leclerc gets away well, as does Sergio Perez, and he's coming right at him now, as into turn one, Leclerc locks up, Perez goes into the lead.
Oh, and one more thing I like to mention about Dr. Simeone before I get on with my review of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix is the fact that I remember in 2011, I think, I had the pleasure of getting to sit next to him for dinner at his own museum, as there was a special exhibit the museum was displaying. I don't remember which exactly, but he told me and a lot of other people at our table wonderful stories about the cars in the exhibit, and he was so informative like you wouldn't believe. So that's one great honor I have of Dr. Simeone personally. And Dr. Simeone, I hope you saw some of my videos as well, or I hope your colleagues did. Well, you're definitely going to like this one wherever you are now. But now I can get on with my review of the fastest race course on the F1 circuit for this year, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it all began with the Italian stallion driver Charles Leclerc of Monaco on pole, and Sergio Perez of Mexico in the Red Bull starting second. It looked like the Ferrari was off to a great start, but even before the first corner, Sergio Perez managed to snake around the Ferrari and take the lead. So it seemed all plain sailing for the Red Bulls, with Checo, who they called Sergio as well, and then Max Verstappen eventually getting around the Ferrari of Leclerc. But unfortunately, things were starting to get sour for the prancing horse, as Carlos Sainz Jr. of Spain, well, on the 9th lap, his car was out with hydraulic issues. The horse troubles strike again.
Damn it!
In my opinion, one of the most memorable moments of the race occurred on lap 13 when Sebastian Vettel's Aston Martin was chasing down Esteban Ocon's Alpine Renault for 9th place. It looked like Vettel had it, but then he braked too late and ended off in the runoff area and did a wonderful 180-degree spin, almost colliding with another car returning on the track. But what a daredevil move by Vettel, and congrats on bringing the car home to 6th spot. By lap 19, both Red Bull drivers had pitted, giving the lead back to Charles Leclerc of Ferrari, and it seemed like the Italian stallion had a sporting chance to win this race after putting in so many poles throughout the season, but only 2 wins under Charles Leclerc. Unfortunately, the following lap, the engine blew on Leclerc, and it was a double whammy for the Ferrari team. The prancing horse once again got glued! While Sebastian Vettel finished 6th in Baku, his Canadian teammate Lance Stroll was out with engine problems. Tough luck for the Canadian, eh? With a 6th place finish in Baku, I would say that wasn't the only good thing to happen to Aston Martin this past weekend, as at the 24 Hours of Le Mans that same day, the Aston Martin Vantage AMR, run by the TF Sport Racing team, was victorious in the GTE AM class. So congratulations, Aston Martin. Go Governors. Overall, though, the victor of the 24 Hours of Le Mans was Team Toyota, with Brendan Hartley of New Zealand, Ryo Hirakawa, and Switzerland's Sebastian Buemi at the wheel of that one. It's a Toyota 1-2. Omedetou Toyota on winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans once again. So, let's see, with me dressed up in Canadian attire, eh? I can tell you right now, the next F1 round is right here. The Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal, Canada. So, get some maple syrup and let's see if people like Martin Short, Kobe Smulders, or, well, I don't know who else might show up for the Canadian Grand Prix, but it's bound to be a good one, eh?
I love it!
Since Sebastian Vettel finished 6th in Baku, Aston Martin is now tied with Team Haas for 8th place in the Constructors' title. Both teams each have 15 points, and they're both 12 points clear ahead of Williams, which is dead last. Williams, unfortunately, so far has only raked in 3 constructor points so far this season. And to make matters worse for Team Williams, it is possible that their Canadian driver, Nicholas Latifi, might be on his way out at the end of the season, if not before the season's over, to be replaced most likely by Formula 2 racer Oscar Piastri of Australia. So, wherever you find Nicholas Latifi, I wish you luck, but it's a shame to see you disappear from F1.
Aww.
It is unfortunate that Ferrari endured such a double whammy in Baku, but as a result of Charles Leclerc's blown engine, which has been deemed as broke beyond fixing, he's going to get an engine replacement, and on top of that, a 10-place grid starting penalty. So it doesn't matter how well he does. If he's the fastest in qualifying, the closest he can start is 11th. But hopefully, maybe this replaced engine will do better and make wonders for him so he can pass a lot of cars and take what's rightfully his, hopefully a championship lead, which he's got his work cut out for them, because at the same time, 2 other drivers with Ferrari engines suffered the same fate as Leclerc and Sainz Jr. First, Guan Yu Zhou of China for Alfa Romeo, and the Danish butter cookie at Team Haas, Kevin Magnussen, also is out with engine problems. I have 2 more highlights of the race to mention before I give you the final outcome. First off, around lap 38, the AlphaTauri driver Yuki Tsunoda had an interesting moment. Part of his DRS on the rear wing of his car kind of broke in half in a very unusual manner that we've never seen before. So he had to pit from there on, and it was a costly pit because the team scrambled to duct tape the DRS together, but it wouldn't be useful anymore for the race, so he ended up finishing 13th. Talk about needing to wing it. But the bigger highlight of the race is the fact that for every one of the cars in the race, they were enduring this porpoising problem that I speak of right here, where it was pushing the drivers up and down in the cars in a very unpleasant manner at over 200 miles per hour. Like, the cars were bottoming out, and people like Lewis Hamilton, at the worst, was suffering such back pain from it all that he wasn't sure if he could keep this up any longer. So with any luck, the FIA is planning to intervene in trying to stop this porpoising issue. I'm all for it if it means not coming at the expense of the F1 team's budgets and all that, because I'm sure the drivers can't keep this up forever, and it's a pain in the ass to work with. And that's why I'm not a race driver, because to go over certain bumps like this is one thing, but so simultaneously in a manner such as this, forget it, because this could be a big health concern if this continues, and they can't keep doing this all year round. Because no track is going to be comfortable enough to keep going over bounces like this when the car keeps porpoising because of the downforce and low height clearance that makes the car keep scraping the surface of the track, and then in turn just keeps the drivers in such pain like this. Ow! Ooh! I know this sounds silly, but this is what the drivers are basically feeling every time they're at speed in those F1 cars, and I tell you, this is not fun at all! When the checkered flag finally flew in Baku, the Flying Dutchman Max Verstappen was the one at Red Bull to take first place. His Mexican teammate Sergio Checo Perez finished second. Ole! A Red Bull won two. George Russell of England, driving for Mercedes, finished third, and his fellow countryman and teammate Lewis Hamilton finished fourth. I'm sure, though, finishing in a good place is the last thing on Lewis's mind at that point, because I'm sure he just wanted to get out of that car and just lie down and whatnot, because it was just, Lewis, I am so sorry you had to endure that if you're watching this. I sympathize for your situation. Hopefully, the FIA will do something to make all this porpoising stop, because this is not what a driver should be going through to race. Like, to race a car is one thing and put your life on the line, but not like this, because this is ridiculous, in my opinion. I'm just stating my personal opinion about how FIA should go at this, and, like, even though there's some people who are against this whole porpoising intervention thing, but I say it ought to be done, and hopefully, with any luck, it won't brew into any civil war between the F1 teams and so on. If so, this is what's bound to happen if they do.
George! Ow! Ow! I've been shot!
As a result of Max Verstappen taking his 5th win of the season, no doubt this increases Max's point lead. He is now 21 points ahead of his own teammate in the Drivers' Championship, and Charles Leclerc is in third, 34 points behind Max. With Red Bull taking a 1-2 finish, this increases the gap between Ferrari and Red Bull by a massive 80 points. So the Italian stallion has got a lot of work cut out for them if they are to take back the constructors and or drivers' lead. I wish you luck in Canada, Ferrari. I hope you can do it, but at this point, it's a safe bet to put your money on either Checo or Max, and judging how well Red Bull's going at this point, seems like a safe bet, but don't count out Ferrari or any of the other teams. Anything can happen. And with them heading to Latifi and Stroll's home soil of Canada, let's see how exciting this race can be, even for them, eh? Well, this concludes part 1 of my review on the AzerbaijanGP and the IndyCar race at Elkhart Lake. Part 2 will come shortly enough. I will send the link for part 2 in this description when it's ready, and be sure to share with your friends and get them to subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and be sure to click the notification bell to be notified of any future videos that will occur. And if you like my forms of racing humor, well, get ready to buckle up for some more excitement, as the next round in Canada awaits you on June 19th. Let's see who wins this one. See you in the next video, everyone. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders.